So, Mark, did you see that commercial from MGM Grand's opening week? It opened 31 years ago today. You have that awesome CGI lion walking down Fremont Street. There's no canopy there. He lays and rests at the old entrance to MGM Grand. Those were the days.
Yeah, bring back the frontage of MGM Grand. Bring back the big head. All the stuff. We want it all. Bring it all back.
Can you imagine how scary it would be to be walking down Fremont Street with that giant lion walking by? So sticking to the subject of MGM Resorts, another one of their properties, the old Delano, the old hotel at Mandalay Bay, it is now the W. It is officially transitioned to the W. Now, as we talked before, it's going to take years of renovations and stuff like that, but the building has the W and it is now part of what was already part of Marriott. So I don't know, but W is here.
Yeah, I don't think most people will care unless you're a big Marriott person or you really love the W brand. I don't think anything will change all that much. It might get a little bit better inside, a little bit updated, different color scheme, but I think everything else will remain kind of the same. And I think everybody will enjoy the property just as they have before. And I mean, it doesn't even look that much different on the side of the building. Like I wouldn't even notice it if we didn't talk about it.
At least they painted the building. You can see in the time lapse. So the old Delano isn't, you know how they change signs on buildings and you have the outline of the old sign. So at least they didn't do that.
Yeah, you mean like Mirage?
Well, I think it'll be painted by the time the Hard Rock letters go up.
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe they'll clean up the streets too. I don't know.
So let's move downtown, and renovations are happening at the D, although if you blink, you might miss them. They're refreshing the long bar there, they're putting in new carpet, although I don't think that they're changing the look. I think it's the same carpet as far as design and everything else goes. But basically, there's pictures of this place over the last couple of days completely empty, and it's all now reopened as of now, so you can go see it. And this is proof, we talk about the F1 thing taking months. If you really put your mind to something, you can do it quickly.
Yeah, we've seen, people put up walls and stuff to do similar type of remodels and things, and it just seems to take a long time. And Derek Stevens just, I don't know if he's in there whipping people or what, but they got through it pretty quickly. And I love that they put like the ropes up and everything. It didn't seem too obtrusive. I don't know if that's the right word, but how when they put up these walls and stuff, it just feels very claustrophobic. It ruins the experience, where this like gives you a little bit of a peek of what's going on, and it still feels open and airy and everything. And it doesn't take away from the experience as much. So I thought they did a really good job with that. And then glad to see them putting some money back into the property, even if it's just, the same carpet update. Who does that? Like, I can't think of another casino that brings in the same carpet, but just wants it to look nicer. So good for them.
Yeah, I was trying to confirm if the carpet was the same. So I was going back through the D's social media posts because it looked the same to me. And their social media is so weird. I had to go all the way back to Halloween to find a post that shows the inside of the building. Everything is the outside and the concerts, and you wouldn't even know it's a casino. Like, their social media a little weird on promoting the actual casino part of the D.
Was there any of the mannequin piss, in these photos? Your favorite?
Nothing. Like, I went through dozens and dozens of posts. No, man, they should have at least every fifth post should be mannequin piss.
Hopefully just everybody respects his space and doesn't vandalize him or stand on him or anything again.
So let's provide an update on Harmon Corner. Viewer James sent us a photo, which is a perfect view of what it's going to look like. Yeah, the other James, not the James in Las Vegas, but the MTM Vegas James. He's our James.
There we go.
He sent us a photo, and this gives you a perfect example to show you where these kiosks are going to go and where that overhang is going to go. There did used to be small kiosks out there, but I think they cut down some trees, and the new expansion is going to be much wider in this area. You can see how much of the area is taken up by construction walls, and you'll also have that overhang with the new spaces above it. So it's definitely going to feel more claustrophobic over there.
Yeah, can we save some trees on the strip? Are they just going to chop them all down? It's sad to see that we're losing the little bit of greenery that we did have in spots. But yeah, we talked about this when we announced it, and now you get to see it. And we had walked down there during F1 when it was really busy and it was already claustrophobic, and they had some of the fencing up and everything. And when they add in these stores and shops and everything, it's going to be kind of terrible to get around through there. I'm probably going to try to avoid that corner as much as I possibly can. And these pictures just go to prove that it's going to be a mess at times.
Yeah, and maybe it'll be all nice when it's done. I'm sure it will be. This mall is so interesting because a lot of people just walk through it, right? It's sort of thought of as an afterthought as you're heading from casino to casino, but there's a lot of big names in there and, you got the big screen. So it's important. I don't know, but I agree with you. At least for the next couple of years anyway, the construction is going to be nasty over there.
It's too much. Can we just let people have a place to walk and hang out and have a good time and not jam everything in there? I know that's a lot to ask, but I guess we're not going to get that. I don't even know. Do they even have public sidewalks in Las Vegas, or is it all owned by the companies and they can do what they want? It's kind of bizarre.
We're just one big company town.
Yeah, sellouts.
So let's talk sports. The Las Vegas Bighorns are coming, another professional sports franchise. This is the ultimate professional frisbee league. I forget, the UFA is the league, and
everybody forgot.
Yeah, they're now, fun fact, Mark, the bighorn sheep, the desert bighorn sheep, the state animal of Nevada, also the mascot of my middle school. Shout out to the Becker Bighorns. So yeah, another big major sports thing. Ultimate frisbee is actually really fun to watch.
Yeah, and it's getting more and more popular, and they get really into it. And some of the stuff they can pull off with these frisbees is insane. I mean, even watching the people at the local park where they're doing it is pretty crazy. But the professionals, man, it's something to be seen. But I don't know, like the spectating sport of this, it just seems weird. But I'm glad they're adding it for people that are interested in it. I don't know how much it's going to drive anything, but something of note, I guess.
Yeah, and as you say, they're growing. This is their 24th team, so this is a big deal, I guess, in the ultimate frisbee space. And I love the logo. I love the bighorn name. So good luck to them.
I still need to see those sometime at the one park.
Yeah, out in Boulder City.
Park?
Yeah, Hemingway Park in Boulder City. Shout out. Love that place. So moving on to UNLV, they won the LA Bowl 24-13. Had their most wins in a season since 1984, ranked number 19 at their peak, which is the highest ever in program history, and 35.4 points per game, the most ever. They even pulled off a fake punt in the bowl game.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a fake punt done quite that way. It was pretty impressive. That's what goes to show you always think you've seen everything in football, like every type of trick play and especially every type of fake punt or kick. And then they go with that, and you're like, "Oh, okay. Why has nobody done that? It works so perfectly."
Yeah, it worked great, and they scored a touchdown on the next play, win the game. A great season for them, for the first time in a long time, maybe ever, or at least since John Robinson came and didn't do much here, but at least he was a big coach name. UNLV football is somewhat relevant, and that's exciting to see.
Yeah, we just need to get the running Rebels back on basketball court and them be like the 80s again.
So one last sports-related story. I came across this, and this guy was talking about a Christmas white elephant gift party, and everybody had to give a $20 gift. So he gave a parlay as his gift. And then somebody else in the comments talked about giving wedding gifts as parlays. And I saw a while back somebody who gave all his groomsmen parlays. This is terrible. Like, what are the odds of actually winning? So you're basically giving them $0.
Yeah, but the one that got it for the wedding gift did win. It was like a $50 bet, made $650. So I don't know. It's kind of fun. It's like getting scratchers. A lot of people get scratchers for Christmas and stuff. They just give $20 worth of those. My question is, if you give this as a gift, you basically have to make the same bet for yourself. Otherwise, you'll regret it if it does hit, right?
Yeah, always have to hedge, right? But I still think this is stupid. And everybody's saying this is like an epic move and stuff like that, especially for a white elephant. Like you're at work and you're doing coworkers. They don't want to parlay. Maybe if it's your buddies and everybody's heavy into sports betting, I could get it. But I don't know. I'd love to hear what people out there think. To me, it just sounds ridiculous.
Sean bringing the Grinch energy over here, man. Jeez.
No, maybe I'm wrong. I just would rather get a $20 gift. Give me a cheap, I don't know, not something from Amazon
that you throw away, or you get $20, you get like 2-3 bags of chips. Who cares?
I'm gonna throw away the parlay too. Yeah, it's not gonna hit. It was like a 25 team parlay. It was like it was a crazy parlay. It wasn't like the one for the wedding was 4 teams, so that had a better chance of winning. This one has 0 chance.
But we just talked about, like, in the last couple of shows, people hitting like huge ones. I agree that like a 3-team parlay or something, or if the local team, if you did it like on a game, the Lions, at least you'll get a couple hours of entertainment out of it, rooting for like somebody to score touchdowns, to score so many points, to win by this much. I think that would be a better way to do this versus like a random 8-team parlay. So if you did like the local thing, especially if you knew who you were going to give it to, if it wasn't like a full white elephant gift and you knew they were a big baseball fan, football fan, whatever it be, and you made the bet for that, I think it'd be kind of cool.
I'm going to give you a Lions Super Bowl ticket for Christmas.
Thank you. Would have been really nice like a couple weeks ago, but not
That's
so
what I was
much
gonna
now.
say. After you complained so much privately about all the injuries.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
It's
right.
rough now.
As a reminder, we have our Patreon. $5 a month gets you access to our weekly after show behind our Vegas escapades. More on the topics that we cover on this show. Lots of fun over there. Patreon.com/MTM Vegas for all the information. And thanks to everybody who supports us over there. So let's get nerdy in hotels for a second. Resorts World has their brand new Villa 66, and Dana Roselli from Vegas revealed she was over there filming it. It is 3,300 square feet, features a lot of cool stuff. It's on the 66th floor, which is also their fancy floor there at Crockford's at Resorts World. I think it looks good, but then I was comparing it to that drone footage we saw of that really cool suite at Fontainebleau, and I like that one better.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite to that level or quite that fancy, but it looks like a fun spot. Like it kind of reminds me of Real World when they were in Vegas, like that type of suite, like more of a party fun suite. The Christmas tree, the ornaments on that are just like insane. I don't know who decided to put the biggest ornaments in the world on it, but I was really impressed by was the kitchen, man. That was kind of insane, and I don't know that many suites have that level of kitchen in there. And it'd be cool to have a party, maybe a chef in there, or if you're into cooking yourself, you have that as an option. But I was really digging that section of it.
The other thing about Resorts World is they have those villas down on the ground level, those almost houses, right? That's where you would want to stay, I think, compared to this, where I don't think Fontainebleau has that kind of accommodation. So this isn't their top level suite either. I mean, I wonder, where would you rather be, in one of those villas down on the ground or in something like this?
I don't know. Like, I feel like on the ground, you don't get as much privacy, maybe. And it depends, like, if you're out on the back area and stuff. I know we've seen it in other places where I can look down and see people's private pool in the villa. It just doesn't seem all that exclusive, where this feels a little bit, more exclusive. And isn't there like a rooftop bar on that floor? And that'd be kind of nice. Like, you just walk down the hallway and get to your room and everything. So I think it's got its plus and minuses.
So for those who aren't on quite the high budget, there is the Penthouse suite at Horseshoe, the former Bally's, and Sin City Suites shared this, saying that he booked a basic room and then upgraded it for $200, or saying that that's possible. I think it goes for over $1,000 a night. It's always a good reminder that booking a base room and then paying to upgrade, especially if you're there on a slower night, can be great to get the room that you want. That's always an option. Even outside of the $20 sandwich isn't going to work to get you the penthouse.
Maybe $50, $100. I don't know. But no, that's a good tip. And I wonder if like it was a comped room booking, because a lot of people will get a standard room comped, and then maybe they can be like, hey, is there a suite available that I can pay to upgrade into? So definitely worth asking, even if it's not at this hotel, at any hotel, you can always ask to see what it is. Same with like flights. They'll often sometimes, at the gate or a day or two out, offer a pretty cheap rate to upgrade to first class and things like that. So it's always worth asking. All they can do is say no, so you can see. But this place is pretty big, and I don't know how many couches are in there. It's kind of nuts how many how many seating areas it has.
Yeah, it's big. And I've stayed in presidential suites at Hyatt's that aren't as nice as this. I'm not going to call this the nicest, fanciest room in the world, but I'd be happy to stay in there. As you say, it's huge and it has a ton of space. It's bright, it's airy. Yeah, I think it's a perfectly solid hotel room.
Yeah, well worth $200 as a upgrade, especially if you're getting it on a comp stay or something like that. Then I would throw it in there. If you're staying for a couple nights, $600. I think you'll get some good value out of it, especially if you're with a group. Maybe if you're by yourself or just you and a significant other, it's not quite worth it. But if you are going with a group of friends or something, to have that spot to pregame or meet up before you guys head out and everything, I think it's great.
There's nothing quite as strange as having a room that big all to yourself. I've had that
Yeah,
happen quite a few
so
times. I
dumb.
always seem to get the upgrades when I'm by myself on a one night stay and I get there late. So yeah, hanging out in giant rooms by myself.
Yeah, that's when they always give it to you, because they're like, "Oh, just here. It's one night. It's fine. We're not going to lose any revenue." And that's the time you don't want it. You're like, "I don't care about this. I'm going to just go to bed and get up and leave."
So I was walking through the Silverton the other day. They have a lot of these old slot machines, and I thought maybe this would be a good discussion topic because I had never seen this one before. It's called Shake Your Booty. Obviously, it's pirate themed, I guess, but there's all kinds of adult innuendo. The characters say all kinds of weird things when you win, and it's very strange. So I don't know. I thought I would throw it out there because this is an old IGT game. What are the most risque or crazy themed slot machines? I have to imagine there's some weird ones out there that we haven't heard of.
Just goes to show, man, 90s was the best, right?
I don't know. This might be 2000s. This one
Early
might be.
2000s, 90s, kind of the same, whatever. But no, it's fun. And we talked about that when we were talking about the tiki bar and how the parrots start talking in there, and it's a little bit risque, and it kind of feels like old school for us, Vegas, and that feeling and the fun of it and novelty. And you lost some of that this year, so it's kind of crazy that this is allowed to be on the floor anymore, and nobody's complained about it.
Yeah, the good old days and those old IGT cabinets, they all kind of look the same. Silverton has a ton of those old games. I think that's a complaint maybe for some people because they have so many old games that, they also have new games. But yeah, if you're looking for the old cabinets, head over to Silverton. They have a bunch of them in different varieties and ones that I had never seen before. So Caesars opened a new property and it is in Virginia. In fact, it's called Caesars Virginia. It's right near the North Carolina border in Danville, Virginia. Full hotel, casino. It looks so much like a Caesars property. That carpet, man, they can't move away from that carpet.
Yeah, I think the designs, the statues, everything feels very what you expect at most Caesars you go into. And hey, they have an idea or a plan and they follow it. And the biggest surprise though, Sean, was that they had a Gordon Ramsay restaurant in there.
So you always ask me these questions like, what is I was waiting for you to say, what is the biggest surprise? And I knew the answer to that one.
That was too easy. I couldn't give you that one.
But yeah, it looks nice. 90,000 square feet of gaming space, 79 tables, electronic table games, 320 rooms plus conference space. So this is a full-on resort, even has a spa.
Yeah, it looks like a good spot. Big turnout for the grand opening, everything. It looks like people are pretty excited about the property in the area and everything, and they packed it in there. So hopefully it does well. And I mean, the rooms look nice. The hotel, the casino looks nice. I think it's definitely worth checking out if you're in that area.
The only way I could sum it up is it looks like a Caesars. I don't know what else to say.
Just less confusing than Vegas.
A few weeks ago, what was it, a month ago, 2 months ago, the IHG Venetian partnership was announced to end. IHG and Venetian have been partners forever. So this is one of the more long-standing partnerships on the Strip. And we, theorized at the time that Venetian would be, partnering with somebody else. And we learned that it is Hyatt that is indeed coming back to the Strip. Hyatt was the partner of MGM forever. They lost that deal to Marriott, and then they got banished to the Rio off the Strip, and now they're back on the Strip with the Venetian. They say that they are going to integrate things so that World of Hyatt members can get property benefits at Venetian and vice versa, although no details of any of that have been announced yet.
Yeah, hopefully they don't play games like the Rio has with the breakfast perks and everything like that. I don't think they'll be as cheap as Rio has been. And this is a good fit, I think. This is kind of the level that you expect out of Hyatt, and it didn't really make sense with IHG. IHG is a little bit lower tier than Venetian and Palazzo. So I think Hyatt kind of fits that mold a bit more. And they were dying to probably get back on the Strip after they lost all those rooms with MGM. And Rio just doesn't really do it. Rio's a fit for IHG. Like, they should have just swapped and done this thing. I don't know why Hyatt is with Rio, but it is what it is at this point. And I think that this is interesting because IHG said they made almost no money through this partnership. It didn't bring them any value in any way besides offering their members another place to stay or use points and stuff like that. So there's some value there, but they didn't actually make any profit from it. So I wonder if Hyatt worked out different terms or if they're just wanting to have the rooms available or what the deal is there.
Yeah, it's interesting because we don't really know if Venetian's going to become a true proper Hyatt. In fact, I would theorize that they're not because they talk about integrating the different loyalty programs. Remember at Rio, it is a full-on Hyatt. There is Rio Rewards, but Hyatt has nothing to do with that, and there's no reciprocal anything. It's just if you have Hyatt status, it basically is a Hyatt hotel. So it'll be interesting to see how that all works out. This is a perfect fit for the Hyatt brand and all of that. Great property. We've talked about all the restaurants. The rooms are big. They're spending a lot of money on renovations. We didn't love the new renovations for the rooms, but I mean, the rooms are still very nice, even if they're a little dark and stuff like that. So huge score for Hyatt here. And I don't have anything else to say about that other than Rio, Mark. I will be talking about it a little bit more next week. I got to grab some video. I was in there briefly earlier this week. I'll be back there. But with the combination of all the stuff, the phase one being complete, it really is a huge difference. Wow. Like, I was stunned. It was the first time I was in there in 2 or 3 months, and it's all working together. And it's beautiful if you kind of don't count the Masquerade Village part.
Did you check the locks though? Are they good?
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
Okay, good.
The thieves haven't come back. And let's close with this. Junk fees. FTC is going after junk fees, and they created a new rule specifically targeting things that are Vegas related, concert tickets and resort fees and lodging fees. And so basically they're not going to tell them they can't charge any fees. They're just making everything be disclosed up front, which is the way it should have been in the first place. So if you search for a hotel, once this rule is enacted and everything is done, you will see the final price with resort fees, taxes, everything included. The same thing with concert tickets. Thank God.
Yeah, it makes too much sense not to. And it's always the concerts, I think, was the most annoying because you're always like, oh, that's a pretty good price. And then by the time you get to the checkout, it's double. It's not even like somewhat in the same realm. And it just blows my mind that that's been going on for so long. And it's frustrating every time you know it's coming, but you're still like, you can't really figure out what it's going to be. Where with like hotel resort fees and stuff, you're like, all right, $25 to $50, somewhere in there, probably. Concert tickets, it seems like it's just all over the place. So I'm glad to see this. And I think it's a good move and something that should have been done a long time ago. And that's all we ask. Like, just know what it is so you can, easily compare between a couple different options at the same time.
What's even dumber is that plane tickets have to be disclosed this way. You have to get the full price and everything out there. So that's why when you search for a plane ticket, you actually see the final price that includes everything. There was no argument I've heard, and I have heard industry insiders argue that this is bad. It makes any sense. And your point on tickets is great too. You don't know what the fees are. They're just these random amounts. So you can't even plan for that. I know last year I was in London buying a ticket for the West End. And when I bought the ticket, it had the final price. It had a couple fees in there, but it was all, when I looked at the price, that was it. It's a great experience. It's the way it should be.
Yeah, it's just, and people won't get upset. It's better for the consumer. Like, I don't know what the companies are thinking. Maybe that they can, if their fees are higher, they can tease you with this low fee and you won't pay attention, or you get to the end, you already put in all your info and you're like, oh, screw it. Like, I already put the effort in. I'm going to just ride forward with this. But it's, people get upset about that, get mad, complain at checkout, complain about Ticketmaster fees all the time on, social media. And this, they can't complain anymore. It's there. It's upfront. They know what it's going to be. So it just seems like this is better for the companies too.
They can't complain anymore, Mark. Famous last words. They can always complain.
True.
So let us know what you guys think about anything we talked about today. Ultimate Frisbee, the Bighorns coming. That's so cool. UNLV's season W, Hyatt at Venetian, the resort fees and disclosure. So much that we covered on this show. Leave a comment. We do 2 shows a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, and we'll be back in a couple days with another show. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you next time.
Make sure you watch the outtakes for some stupider stuff.
What if I don't put it in there?
Well, then that's just lame.
What's even stupider is that plane tickets, airlines have had to do this. Okay, what's even more stupid is that plane lines. Oh my God.